7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. My voice is still a little bit hoarse. Veg hoarse, we might call it, but I'm sure it'll be fine by the time that we beat Liverpool. On Sunday, we're going to speak about that game, our trip to Anfield. If I'm correct, I don't think Manchester United have won there since Anfield, and that was back in 2015. I know we've got some confidence going into this game, but it's going to be a difficult game, as it always is. We will preview that as a community a little bit later in the show. But to begin with, we are focusing on Barcelona and Frenkie de Jong. Now, after what happened last summer, this might be a conversation that everybody would rather just park and not have. But I think Barcelona are going to need a little bit of money this summer, a little bit like last summer. We'll run through the stories, the full reports, and comments from Javier Tebas, who is the Liga chief, who has confirmed that Barcelona need to raise a serious amount of money before they spend this summer. I'll run through that. We'll have a conversation around Frenkie de Jong and what I would imagine is going to be, let's be honest, a Frenkie de Jong saga again this summer. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't. That's my own personal opinion on that one. We'll run through the reports and the stories there. We'll speak about Casemiro. I like speaking about Casemiro, but Gary Neville's comments on Casemiro, on Declan Rice. We'll speak about the latest update on the Mason Greenwood situation after an article this morning from The Athletic, Laurie Whitwell and Adam Crafton, explaining exactly what's happened over this last month, because I know quite a lot of you keep asking me for updates on the situation. I will only bring you updates when there are conversations to be had. We'll have that this morning, and then we'll preview the Liverpool game after. Good morning to everyone down here. Who's down in the comments? Marcus, say no, not another De Jong saga. Look, I know, let's be honest. I know that's how a lot of you will feel, because last season it stung us so badly. But things will be slightly different this summer. I'll explain exactly why. Good morning to everyone down here. Jonathan, I can see you there. Josh, I can see you there. Welcome back. Spence, Bully, Game of Beans. Ian, how you doing, buddy? I can see you there. Emlenosh, you're there too. We've got Nick Cavros. We've got Carl, as always, watching from New Zealand. We've got Jibak. Vicky Brissett, how you doing? Who's on Facebook? We've got Johan. Good morning to you. Glenn Jones. Jade, you're there as well. Mark Fossey. Good morning to everyone around the world. It is Friday, by the way, so I'm going to get the map out. So if you haven't already, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments a little bit later in the show. So you want to stick around for that. Let's talk about this De Jong situation. Right. Last summer, let's have a quick summary of what happened, eh? Barcelona mortgaged like 20% of their future earnings in quite a few areas. Quite literally 20% of their future TV rights. And they sold that off for a big lump sum injection of cash, which they put into their accounts. They sold off part of the Barca studios, I believe. They sold off part of their kit sales and future merchandise revenue. And by doing so, they were able to balance their books and they were able to avoid selling Frenkie de Jong. And that situation left Manchester United without Frenkie de Jong. But I'll be completely honest. Can we just take a little moment here to say thank you very much to Barcelona? Because if that De Jong situation hadn't unfolded the way it did, we wouldn't have signed Casemiro. Isn't it weird the way football works? Just the way things work in life. We all thought correctly that Frenkie de Jong was the number one deal for Eric Ten Hag. It did not help our summer whatsoever. But look at the position we're in now. Could you confidently say that we'd be in this position now had we signed Frenkie de Jong earlier in the summer and we never got Casemiro? I wouldn't change a bean about what happened during the summer. But this summer, it looks like, yeah, Ian as well. Big up to, what's the name? Veronique Rabiot. Big up to Veronique Rabiot for making sure that one didn't happen. But fast forward to what's going to come up this summer. And there's a big difference. Let me run through the full story here. I'll explain exactly why there is a difference and why it can't just be a repeat of the saga last summer. Let me explain this. We have ruled that they can no longer sign players. Barcelona are banned from entering the transfer market unless they raise 178 million. Jeez. Daily Mail website has to be, I think, the worst in the entire world. They must make an absolute ton off the adverts that they've got. Anyway, this is what Javier Tebas said. There was a financial, NFT Business of Football Summit that happened in London yesterday. He was there, and this is what he said. As of today, Barcelona doesn't have any room in its budget in the upcoming transfer window. Barcelona has been involved in questionable behavior, and we know that's true. Questionable behavior which has had an impact on the Liga, and we are acting accordingly. We have ruled that they can no longer sign more players. They sold off so much of their TV rights, X, Y, Z. This is the important one here. In the case of Barcelona, they have to drop spending on wages and transfers by 177 million pounds. And this, Jibak, is why it is different. Because we scroll back up here, let's leave this on screen. Frenkie de Jong. We know exactly what they did last summer. They executed, I've got to fix my mic. 1 second there. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm not surprised. Not giving me any sound. I hope, actually, no, that should be good. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. I hope that should be better. Where we go. Ah, there we go. Started when the sound that probably was what caused it. Stupid Daily Mail website. I apologize, everyone. Thanks very much for letting me know that's fixed. See, I do read the comments. So annoying when that happens. Anyway, this is why it is different around Frenkie de Jong this summer. Last summer, they sold off so much of their future revenues of their football club. 20% of their future TV revenues for 600 million euros. They figured out a way, they figured out the loopholes to inject cash into their cash flow and balance their books. Now, in the same way that Chelsea in January spent, actually in the last 2 transfer windows, they spent so much money, but they used extended player contracts, 8-year deals, so they could use player amortization and spread the cost of those signings across 8 years. That loophole has now been closed by UEFA, and that loophole of using economic levers has now also been closed. Ricardo saying still sounds off. Sorry, it's a croaky voice. Honestly, I do sound absolutely terrible. It's been going for a full week now. I can't just blame Wembley. But Barcelona found the loophole last summer. They used it, those economic levers. That loophole, that's been shut. They cannot do that anymore. And the reason they cannot do that anymore is they can go and use economic levers if they want, but they can't put all of that cash into one cash flow. They have to spread that out as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch how this develops. I'm going to put this down as a poll now, actually. Right, let me head over here and put this down as a poll, because I'll be very interested to know exactly where you all stand on this. Do you want us to go back in for Frenkie de Jong? Back in for Frenkie de Jong. Go there. Everyone loves a poll. Yes or no? All right. Yeah, as I said, the the audio might still be a bit bad, but it's because I've been ill all week. It's why there wasn't a video that went out yesterday afternoon. I will be doing my Liverpool preview going out later today, but I apologize, everyone. I should have recorded a podcast last night. I couldn't. I can hardly speak, as you can hear now. I sound a bit weird. But let me see I'll leave that poll up for a while, because with De Jong, right? if Man United don't go back in for De Jong this summer, Ten Hag is effectively just going to be saying to John Murto or whoever is in control of our transfers, and I still hope we get somebody in. We need a better organizational structure when it comes to transfers and how we operate. Ten Hag still would absolutely love De Jong. As Black Boy says down there, look, De Jong is Ten Hag's man. He's absolutely his guy. And whether or not we sign De Jong this summer, we're going to sign a player like De Jong. If it's not De Jong, Ten Hag will be saying, if I can't get Frenkie, get me someone as close to Frenkie as possible. But Frenkie is the blueprint. Frenkie is the model. That's who Ten Hag will want. I'm going to go down here and read a few of your comments before checking out what the poll results are. Shaq, let me know where you're watching from, dude. You join as a member. I'll try and give you a shout out. Frenkie de Jong, Bellingham, and a striker. Tom, you are getting giddy this morning. There's no way we're signing all three of those. And I suppose that's a conversation and debate as well. De Jong or Bellingham. In my opinion, two very different types of midfielders. One whose natural instincts are to receive the ball from defence and bring it further up the pitch in Frenkie de Jong. And the other one in Bellingham, whose natural instincts are receiving the ball around about the halfway line and driving towards the opposition's box. Two different types of midfielders. I don't really think we should be comparing them. Stephen, you're saying, no, I'm going to vote no because there is no meh option. If we get him, fine. If not, it's fine as well. He is more than fine. De Jong is still probably the best in the world. Well, certainly one of the best in the world in receiving that ball from deep and driving forward. Progressive play as a midfielder from defence to attack and bringing that element of control. The big buzzword, it's control. That's what Ten Hag still wants more of in this team. And that's certainly what we don't have. And look, Dave, when you let yourself think about it, and look, Sabitzer, he's done an excellent job. Eriksen's been brilliant. And Eriksen, unfortunately, is a conversation. Eriksen was never brought in to be a first team player every single week. But just imagine it. Casemiro, Frenkie de Jong, and Bruno Fernandes. I mean, we may as well just go and get the suit fitted now for the treble parade. That's an unbelievable midfield. Now, comment there from Finance, but no, I'm already bankrupt United. Bellingham is a generational talent. He is. I'm not saying he isn't. Isaacson, you sent a super chat. Thank you very much, dude. You're saying let's get De Jong. Let me see what you're saying in the results of this poll straight away, okay? 827 votes. Look at that. 72% of you are saying yes. And I personally think I'm part of that. I'm part of. I'd be very, very surprised if United don't go in. We've got an advantage there in knowing what this situation is with Barcelona. We've also got the extra advantage knowing that they can't repeat the same circus act that they did last summer. They can't use those economic levers in the same way they did last summer. The only way that they can inflate their, not inflate, but balance their books when it comes to this cash flow coming up, they're going to have to sell players. They're going to have to reduce their wage bill. And they don't have a trapdoor to jump down and get out of in those economic levers, which basically means, in my opinion, I'd be so surprised if we don't go in for him. I'm going to keep reading your comments down here as a community. I'm really interested to know where you all stand on this. Cows, you're saying it depends on what price Barca want. Okay, fair question, fair comment. Be realistic about it. Don't just put 200 million. Don't put 20 million down in the comments. What do you think would be a realistic price for Frenkie de Jong, given what happened last summer? What did we go up to? I can't even remember. Was it somewhere between 70 and 80 million we went last summer? I think. If I can remember off the top of my head. I think I just buried it. Get PTSD when I think about de Jong. I think it was around about then. But what do you think he'd be worth this summer if United went back in for him? De Jong will probably do the same as last season. It's not going to happen. Of course, we've got to remember a big part of the issue around de Jong was the wages, the deferred wages, the money's owed, the loyalty bonuses. I don't know what the situation is around those. And that's something that we can have a little bit of research and conversation about. Mohammed, you're saying buying De Jong will strengthen the squad as United lacks that depth. Mohammed, we saw that against, midweek against West Ham. Forgot who we played. We played so many games, it's hard to remember. We saw that drop-off between Casemiro, Martinez, and Varane to McTominay, Maguire, and Lindelof. It was such a drop-off. We can't afford that next year in the Champions League. Tina, you're saying, what is the price tag of Frenkie de Jong and Declan Rice? We'll speak about Declan Rice in a little bit, actually. I'm going to see what you're saying down here in the comments. Drizzy, you think 120 mil? Wow. 70 mil, he's a right player, so who cares? 90 mil, easy. 70. Max 50. I think he's definitely worth more than 50, Tony. Jack, you're saying 80. They'll want at least 100 plus add-ons, says Matt. Put 60 on the table, 65, 70. I don't particularly think that Frenkie de Jong has decreased in value since last year. If anything, I think his value might have gone up a little bit. If you've been watching Barcelona this season, he's really taken to it. Barcelona top of the league. Barcelona beating Real Madrid in the Clasico last night. 1-0. It wasn't exactly a classic Clasico. Not until Real Madrid had a shot on target. It wasn't the best of games. But if they were rejecting 70, 80 million last summer, I imagine United would have to go in for the exact same amount. And I don't particularly think that Declan Rice is a conversation as an alternative. Ruben Neves, maybe. I think Wolves would probably be asking for just as much money. Alex, thank you so much, dude. You gifted 10 memberships. I've just seen it. An update on the website, everyone. All of you, by the way, you can see it in the comments. Well, yeah, you should be able to on YouTube. I'll drop the link a little bit later. If somebody can help me, drop the link to the survey. Over 100 of you signed it yesterday. That survey is your opportunity to have your say on what you want this website to be, this community website. We're building just for the community. Let us know about the features you want, like player ratings, polls, interactive quizzes, lots and lots of things. Have your say on what you want on that website, and you can help us when we start to develop it. So make sure you do sign that survey. Jibak, what are you saying, sir? A couple of super chats. Not going to pay more than 60 for Frenkie de Jong. If we pick up Barcelona players, we should look at Gavi and Pedri and hurt their pride. I mean, there's no chance there. That would be wasting our time trying to go after Gavi and Pedri. I get your logic, but no, Barcelona are not letting either of those two players go. So I think we'd be wasting our time. I'm a potato. What are you saying, sir? Even if the sale goes through, are we not still on the wrong side of FFP with previous spending? That is something that we've spoken about quite a bit here on United People's TV. United over the last 3 years, we've got, over 200 mil worth of losses. Now, if the confusion is that FFP rules changed, the whole structure of FFP changed this year, and the methods by which they look at FFP rules being broken is now different. And I think it goes down to revenues versus wages, and the percentage that you're allowed to spend will decrease year on. I can't say it confidently off the top of my head here. It's complicated, but I think United do have issues. We can't just, even if we got Qataris in, we couldn't just go and spend 400 mil and just shrug our shoulders and rub it on. And we can't. There will be limitations on United, just like there'll be limitations on every other club. But Barcelona, because of their previous free spending, I remember when they spent like 140 mil or something on Coutinho, 120 mil on Dembele, something like that. They spent about 100 mil on Griezmann as well, didn't they? I don't know how much they spent. Absolute wildness. Oh, that's a really good suggestion there from Rodney. Just caught my eye there. Get the map on the website. That's a good shout, Rod. I like that. Really, really like that. So, I mean, we're going to bring everything together from the community in one place on this website. That's really, really good. Limitations of every club except Man City. Well, when they get relegated to the Championship, I think they may have limited themselves. What a shame that'll be when they get relegated. Comment there from Nick saying, thoughts on United monitoring Tammy Abraham? Man, he's done seriously well since he went to Roma. Seriously well. And we need a striker. Don't think we can rule anybody out. Now, everyone's going to have their preference. And I know a lot of the preferences are going to be Victor Osimhen or Harry Kane. I'm really interested to see how that develops. That's number one signing for United this summer, priority-wise, is a number 9 striker, goal scorer. Has to be our number one priority. Number 2, though, you're probably looking at a Frenkie de Jong type player. Absolutely, that person who can bring it from deep, because as good as United have been, there's still, you can probably count it on on one hand, the times where United in big games have really controlled the flow of the football. Against Man City at home, we soaked up the pressure. We had control. I mean, we really limited City's ability to threaten us. We didn't really have too much control going forward. Barcelona, I would say we had control. That was probably one of the best ones. Really, wasn't expecting that at all at the Nou Camp. But there are only a few games where you say United have done that. And that is ultimately one of the biggest blueprints of Ten Hag's team. That's the area where we still need the biggest progression in actually just maintaining possession and controlling the game of football. That's why somebody like this man here is going to be a priority for Erik Ten Hag in the summer. And it'll be really interesting to see if we go after him again. As I said, the big update on that front is 2 things. Number 1, Barcelona and get 170 million in transfers before they can spend. And they can't use those economic levers last year. Just like Chelsea used them in the last couple of windows and UEFA has closed that loophole. Contracts are now limited to 5 years instead of the 8 years. Oh, Mike again. Deary, mate. Deary. Right. I'm hoping it's okay. Sound is fixed. Right. Looks like I'm going to have to update and restart and do all the jobbies. To be fair, I have got about 25 tabs open. It's that site again. Let me close that. I think it's the Daily Mail website. I think it is. I told you that website was bad. It seems to want to break the stream at the same time. Unbelievable. Now, speaking about midfielders, this is a really easy win, in my opinion. Sabitzer wants to stay at Manchester United. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a signing that Man United are going to make. Let's be completely honest. And it's a signing that Man United should be making. With loan transfers, you get the it's a zero risk, massive reward sort of system, isn't it? If it doesn't work out, well, it doesn't work out. Okay, we'll let that player leave. What did that cost us? I'll be covered his wages. You know that the phrase no-brainer. I can see you down there, Al Williams saying it. It is a no-brainer. Sabitzer, we're looking in the region of around about 20, maybe 30 million pounds for a player who, what is he, 28? I think he's 28. He's still got a couple of a few really strong years ahead of him. I think he'll be happy to be a squad player. He won't have to start every single week. It's without a doubt, he should be signed in the summer. And according to reports coming out of Germany, he wants to stay. And why wouldn't he? He's gone from sitting on the bench at Bayern Munich and going, well, this is rubbish, to coming to Manchester United, winning the League Cup and feeling the energy of being one of those players. Because I've said this before, right? And we've said it quite a few times. In terms of ambitions as players, imagine, and I think Diogo Dalot was one of the first people to say this on camera. Imagine being one of those players or the manager of United when you bring the club back to the top again. Imagine that feeling, that legacy you're creating yourself, and how much you would get a buzz off that as a player, as well as a fan. Sabitzer, he's come in, and I'll be honest, he's done a stellar job since the beginning. What was a wonderful save from Areola, I think it was, on Wednesday night for West Ham that stopped Sabitzer getting his first goal. He's going to get a goal, mate. If you get it away at Anfield, please, Sabitzer. Depends if he starts or not, I suppose. We're going to be speaking about the starting 11, but without a shadow of a doubt, we should be signing him. Bayern Munich are spoiled in that regard. They've got so many players there. Look, Gravenberch was hardly getting a sniff. Neither was Sabitzer. They've stacked in midfield. They will absolutely be shifting him off if they can get a good amount of money for him, and he wants it. And why wouldn't he want it? Let me see what you're saying down here. It was a great, yeah, look, he nearly got an assist there too. Sabitzer's a good player. Check out his Instagram. Yeah, I didn't know that, Gary. But, mate, he's definitely enjoying himself, and so is Weghorst. Both of them have come from positions where they weren't really enjoying football. Well, I mean, look, actually, I was saying that. I'm sure that Weghorst was enjoying himself out in Turkey, but the levels from where he was to where he is now is incomparable. And Sabitzer was just sitting there warming up the bench at Bayern Munich, and all of a sudden, he's playing week in, week out for Manchester United and winning trophies. He's happy. And it goes to show that you can be smart. There are good deals to be picked up. As much as football these days has gone crazy, right, money-wise, Sabitzer has shown that there are good deals to be had at fair prices if your scouting can be done correctly and properly. And you sign a player who fits the profile, and it's like, you don't have to spend 100 mil in every position. Not if you're clever and you do it correctly. And Sabitzer, I think, is a very, very good example of that. And a very good player. I think will he start the weekend? I don't know who he'll start the weekend, but I'll tell you who will start the weekend. That man right there, Casemiro. Martinez probably too. In fact, I think all three of them will probably start. But Casemiro, right? This is what Gary Neville said about him. He said, what Casemiro has done to that United dressing room is off the scale. He looks like he's in complete control of that team and is a dominant force. And he really, really is. It's a good question there from Chris saying, do we have a new scouting system? We don't at this moment in time. We've had a lot of work done in terms of updating the actual scouts we've got. We've got a lot of new scouts as far as I know, but nobody really leading that charge. I think it's Steve Brown, who's still head of recruitment at Manchester United. We've got that Tracker, is it called Tracker Man? I think that's what it is, Tracker Man system in place. It feels like we've improved some of the operations behind the scenes, but still we have the same people in charge. And I think that might be an issue. But Casemiro getting absolutely praised by Gary Neville there, and so he should be. And I like this comment here from Gary as well. He said, I feel that United aren't going to win the title, but I wouldn't like Casemiro chasing me down if Arsenal and City drop points. He could have a massive impact in terms of how United could approach the rest of the season. Casemiro is everything. Like, I don't. You can let me know in the comments, right? Inside the Premier League, what other? Because I'm sure there are a couple of signings. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. What other signings have had dramatic impacts at their clubs this year? Because Casemiro really is just the centerpiece. He really is the centerpiece. I did a video on Tuesday, after the League Cup final, about our two leaders on the pitch in Casemiro and off the pitch in Ten Hag. And they are the two real drivers taking us forward. And it all came, as I said, I'll go back to it again. It all came because we couldn't sign Frenkie de Jong. Do you know how weird that is? From a situation where we looked at it as a negative to a situation where it's turned out into an absolutely huge positive. It's amazing. Some updates there from Jamie Jackson on the sale of Manchester United. Let me pull these up in a bit. I'll run through those a little bit later in the show. All right. We've still got the Liverpool game to preview. We've still got so much more to talk about. I was going to mention this. I won't Saka with Arsenal, yes, but you know, Saka wasn't signed this summer, was he? That's just Casemiro, man. Going into Sunday, the reason I've got confidence is Casemiro. It really is revolved around one player. Now, Gary Neville said this about Declan Rice as well. He goes, I wouldn't be spending 110, 120 million on Declan Rice. If I was Man United this summer, I would spend 50 to 60 mil on Declan Rice. And I actually spoke about this last summer. I'll speak about it again this summer. West Ham have massively priced Declan Rice out of that big move. There was no way he was worth 110, 100 mil plus last summer. There's no way he's worth 100 mil plus this summer. I'm not just saying this to agree with Gary Neville, but it's an opinion I've held the entire time. And Gary Neville's right. There's absolutely no way that Declan Rice goes for 100 mil plus. West Ham are now slap bang in the middle of a relegation battle. And that price, they got greedy. It's what happens, West Ham, when you get greedy. Or maybe they didn't get greedy, they got ambitious. And I don't begrudge ambition. But West Ham certainly haven't built on that. They held on to him with the expectation that they could build on last season, and it's all crumbled. Completely and utterly crumbled. And yeah, Gary Neville's right. 50, 60 mil seems fair. I think Arsenal will probably go in for Declan Rice. I think Chelsea will probably go in for Declan Rice. And I think we just leave them to it. Had we not signed the greatest defensive midfielder in world football, then we could have a conversation. But you're probably looking at, realistically, and I don't mean this in a harsh way to Declan Rice, but if Man United were to sell Scott McTominay for 20, 30 million and were to sign Declan Rice for 50, 60 million, I think that would be a pretty good squad upgrade. But I would put Rice in that position. He's a good footballer. Yeah, he is a good footballer. But when you compare him to Casemiro, it's just not a fair comparison. It's not a realistic comparison. They are just on completely and utterly different levels. And if we're signing Casemiro for 70 million, you really think that we're going to be signing this bloke for 100 plus million? Unlucky West Ham. West Ham gambled, and it has not paid off. It has not paid off. Alex, you're asking, can we afford Sabitzer on a permanent deal, Frenkie de Jong and Rice in one summer? No, we cannot. We absolutely cannot. Maybe we can if we sell. As I said, I would be looking at Declan Rice as if United sold McTominay and then signed Declan Rice. That's a really good upgrade, in my opinion, in that particular position. But unlucky West Ham. They gambled, and as I said, it has not paid off. Let me bring you the update here on the sale of Manchester United. There's an update from Jamie Jackson. Let me see if I can pull the article up. Right. Here we go, ladies and gents. Let me see what Jamie Jackson is saying on this situation. Close that down here. This came out 20 minutes ago. This is why it's always cool to do these sort of live shows. We can react to news as and when it happens. Let me see what Jamie Jackson is saying. Manchester United bidders are poised for first meetings with the club to discuss the sale. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani, or as we know him as JBJ, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are expected to hold their first meetings with United over the next fortnight regarding their respective bids. It is understood that if no agreement is reached before the end of the season, this may put a deal in jeopardy. Remember how we've moved now from the end of March to the end of the season? Well, the new owner would ideally want to put in place a transfer policy for the summer window. Thani and Ratcliffe are intent of moving forward a process that has stalled as the Glazers hold out for that big money talks. These discussions may be face-to-face if possible and may initially include representatives of Thani, Ratcliffe, the United hierarchy, and Rain Group. There is also thought to be interest from investors seeking that minority share. Now, I'll be honest, that's not really much of an update, okay? That is pretty much covering everything that I spoke about with Ben Jacobs in the latest video and interview that we did covering this whole topic. There's a real hunger for updates, okay, isn't there? There's a massive hunger for it. We want to know what's going on, and we all do want to know what's going on. But truth be told, it's stalled because of the price that the Glazers want. And over the next week, 10 days or so, as I spoke about with Ben Jacobs, the Rain Group will be notifying JBJ and Ratcliffe about these bids. Are they then able to go to the second level, which is the full due diligence, which is where the formal bids properly go in? That's what I would say. I think this article here is kind of stating the obvious more than an update. But When there's a proper update, I'll bring it to you. Now, something that so many people speak about on basically on a daily basis in the comments is the Mason Greenwood situation. Now, we all know what happened around about a month ago when the CPS dropped all charges against him. There's an update here from The Athletic, from Adam Crafton, from Laurie Whitwell on what is going on. This is going to be a short update and straight to the point because we don't need to get in a conversation around this. Mason Greenwood has held meetings with Manchester United. The talks have been going on for around about a month. And as it stands, there is no major update as to what decision United are going to make. Whether or not the club decides to keep him on the books to help him with rehabilitation. Inside the article, it mentions the hypothetical concept of Mason Greenwood maybe doing an interview, a TV interview, to get it all out, to speak about it, about having conversations with therapists, about having conversations to help him be rehabilitated as both a football player and as a human being after everything that happened. Now, Mike McGrath from The Telegraph has confirmed here that Manchester United have received loan inquiries for Mason Greenwood from Turkish clubs because their transfer window is currently open. But the truth is that Manchester United, I don't think, will be sending. I mean, it's not a truth, that's an opinion. Man United won't be sending out Greenwood on loan anywhere. And this, I don't think, will really be something that gets resolved extremely quickly. I still anticipate this. I mean, there's no real rush for this to happen before the end of the season. There's no benefit to that. So I've maintained my position on it from day one. I don't need to explain that again. And I won't explain that again because I won't get involved in opinions at this point. I'm just sticking to facts. Manchester United have held meetings with Greenwood and his representatives, and those conversations behind the scenes are still going on. At this point, we can't say with utter confidence that Man United are going to do one or two things. We can't say they're definitely going to get rid of Greenwood and he's going to be sold. We can't say they're definitely going to keep Greenwood and he's going to be reintegrated into the squad. The truth is that everything at this point still remains a possibility. And until the investigation is done, that's all we need to say on it. We don't need to speculate about what's happened between Mason Greenwood and his partner and what's happened since and all the stories that have come there. That's not something I'm going to be speaking about down here in the comments. All right, but that's the latest update on Mason Greenwood, okay? Now, for what a lot of you would consider the most important part of this show today is focusing on what's coming up on Sunday. Man United against Liverpool. Anfield away. Anfield away? Liverpool away at Anfield. For me, I'm sure you're the same. When the fixtures come out to start the season, I'm like, where's Anfield? Where's Anfield? There's Anfield. March. Is it a good time to play Liverpool? You probably would argue it is a good time to play Liverpool. Are you confident that we're going to beat Liverpool? Let me see what the results down here in the poll are around the Frenkie de Jong situation. We've got 2,000 votes. Jeez. Look at that. We've got 2,400 of you watching. It's taken me 40 minutes to ask this. But please, would you drop a like on the video? And if you're new, I'd love to have you as part of the community. Please subscribe to United People's TV. It'll be a pleasure to have you on board. But with this situation, I want to say a big shout out to Bet Victor for supporting United People's TV throughout the season. But I want to hear a few words here from Adam McCullough, speaking with Paul Machin and Flav around this game at the weekend. And are United fans confident going into it? You can let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm not taking this as United's easiest game at Anfield and whatever. I don't think that's the case at all.
You like doing that, don't you, Ad? Not committing to anything, not saying...
No, we have a good chance of winning. We have a very good chance of winning.
Where does that come from, Ad? Because this is Manchester...
Adam would be a good politician. He's got Tony Blair vibes. Tony Blair vibes.
No, this geezer just come out and said... For real. This geezer just come out and said, we're going to go to Anfield and we're the favourites. We're not. I still think Liverpool are the favourites to win at their home ground.
You are the favourites.
You are the favourites going into the game. You can't say that Liverpool are the favourites. I mean, you can say it, but I don't know.
I can say what I want.
You can say
Liverpool in a relegation battle. Liverpool in a relegation battle.
It doesn't.
Do you think it matters, the form going into this weekend? That's what I want to know. Now, look, I'll leave the link to the full video in the comments. If you would, go over there. I've left a comment on that video. Just drop a like on that comment. It will show you as a community you're interacting with the content over on Bet Victor. I've left the poll up there now. What's your prediction for this weekend? Because, look, I know that Man United are in banging form right now. I know that Liverpool's season has been shaky. They've had a couple of wins now. They've got a little bit of momentum. Real Madrid made sure that they stuck a hole in that. But this is still Anfield. Josh, this is pretty much exactly where I stand. Form doesn't really matter. Now, I want Man United to go there, and I want them to utterly humiliate Liverpool after what they did to us last year. Now, Jurgen Klopp has been speaking about Liverpool. He said this. He says, they won the League Cup, a wonderful feeling, but no time to celebrate. It has nothing to do with us. They've turned into a results machine. And I'd say that's a pretty accurate description of how Man United are playing right now under Erik ten Hag. We are playing like a results machine. We are getting the results. Barcelona home and away, done. League Cup, done. 8 games in February, 6 wins, 2 draws, including wins away at Ellen Road, and beating Barcelona over 2 legs and winning the League Cup. It was a fantastic run of form in February. Now, someone that Manchester United will definitely be looking towards on Sunday for inspiration, that's Marcus Rashford. It's what Jurgen Klopp said about him. He goes, I'm really happy for him. Last year, he's not performing at the level he's able to perform, but now he's playing incredibly. How calm he is in front of goal. He can score worldies and he can score simple ones. Now, Marcus Rashford, he's got a fantastic record against Liverpool at Old Trafford. But at Anfield, has he scored? I'm not sure. I don't think he scored that many if he has. It's a different Rashford going to Anfield on Sunday. It's a different United going to Anfield on Sunday. And this is the test to compare this isn't the test to see where this United team is right now. This is the test to directly compare where United were last year to where United are this year. We went there and we lost 4-0 towards the end of the Rangnick reign. And it was another humiliating. It was a game where Liverpool were ole every single time they passed it to each other, doing oles. 4-0, could have been more, 9-0 on aggregate. I really, really want to serve some of that revenge on Sunday. I'm going to go down and read some of your comments out down here. Jonathan, you're saying they have dangerous forwards that can hurt us, stop their fullbacks advancing and stay compact. Their defense this season has been, wow, they are abysmal. They are not that defense like it used to be, pretty much untouchable. Van Dijk and Trent and Robertson and Alisson and whoever partners Van Dijk. But this year they've lost that image, haven't they? That image of not invincibility, but just total dominance. And we all know that Liverpool will play with the high line. That will happen. We will get those balls in behind. And we've got Casemiro to find them, Martinez that can find them, Rashford that can find them. The good thing about Liverpool is they will leave space for us. The bad thing is they will be dangerous going forward, as Jonathan has said down there. Look, hey, as I said, that was iconic that day. Did Mata get both of the goals? It was. I think it was Herrera who passed into the first one. Wanfield, it was called. Scoring an overhead kick at Anfield. My God. I can't wait. Mate, if Rashford scores a hat-trick on Sunday, the match reaction here is going to be off the scale. Garlic bread, man, what are you saying? Try some ginger and honey and hot water. You sound like my mum. I have had that. Well, I don't know what I've got here. We've got some Benelin mucus, cough max. I absolutely walloped that bottle. That bottle wasn't full, by the way. Let me see what you're saying down there. Always suits being the underdog in a derby. You can see positives in any sense of the word if you want to. I'm nervous. I am nervous. But I can say with utter confidence that I think Manchester United will really, really, really compete with Liverpool on Sunday. You know, even in our pomp under Fergie, some of our performances at Liverpool were smash and grab. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that if you get the result. I don't think it will be a smash and grab type performance. How do you expect the game to go? What do you expect Manchester United's tactics to be? I don't think we'll go full tilt like we did in the first half against Barca or like against Spurs at Old Trafford. I think that would be foolish, if anything, to try and play the game at the tempo that Liverpool are going to do in the first 15 minutes at Anfield. You're asking for trouble. First 15 minutes at Anfield is all about not conceding and just waiting for the hype in the crowd to die down. Because there's going to be mad hype for the first 10 minutes. It's going to be loud. Anything that happens, everyone's going to be on their feet. If you get past the first 15 minutes, it mutes down a little bit. And then you can start playing football. It's a game of 90 minutes. And there's different parts of the game, different phases of the game, I would call it. And that's all about game management. And Ten Hag, I've got utter confidence that this man, in Eric Ten Hag, is smart enough to know exactly how to play this game. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. A couple of super chats. JVD, you're saying some analysts claim that Ten Hag will play Bruno as a false 9 and Wout Weghorst as a 10. This way, Rashford can dominate on the left. What do you think? I think we'll probably see Bruno out on the right-hand side again. Weghorst in that number 10 role was vital at the new camp. Not only in just slowing the play down a little bit, but also in his link-up play too. Bully, you're saying, Sam, I think this weekend is going to be a close game, but we will come out on top 2-1. Keep up the good work. I just love the family well grown, mate. Big up. Thank you very much to you, sir, and JVD for the super chats. And big up to everybody who just continues to support this community with this website. Big up to Dan, the new community manager, who's starting working with me now. You're helping take this upwards. Trust me, I've got a giveaway that I'm going to be starting. I might be able to launch it this month, but it's a cracking giveaway. It really, really is. Let me see what else is happening down in the comments. Gungchi, thank you, dude, man. You've gifted 5 memberships as well. Remember, it's Friday, so I'm going to be whipping the map up soon. Let me see what your final opinions are. Unleash Garnacho, mate. Trent, I've seen it down there. I've seen quite a few people saying it. Target Trent. Gascoigne, you're saying it there as well. I think we absolutely should be targeting Trent. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold will be going forward. He will leave those spaces in behind. So Rashford down there, Trent's going to have a problem. I don't think he'll be able to stop him. We need that pace up front. That's probably why Weghorst, I don't think there's any real chance he starts in that number 9 position. I might be wrong, but don't particularly think he should. What else have we got here today? We'll speak about that a little bit later, but let's go to the map, ladies and gents. It's Friday, man. It's Friday, man. Another wicked week. Thank you for putting up me, my croaky voice this week. Hey, we're being ill. I'm blaming it on Wembley, but also my missus came back she's a teacher, and she came back with all sorts of lurgy from school. So, Susie, I'm blaming you as well. I'm blaming everybody apart from myself. It's easy. It's easier that way. Things in life. I'm joking. My responsibility. Anyway, where are you watching from? Let me know. You need to let me know the town and the country, and I can get 3 or 4 of you added onto the fabled map. Look at it now. We've got nearly 400 map points. We've got Barbados. We've got Montevideo in Uruguay. We've got Alabama in America. We've got Hønefoss in Norway. Nakuru in Kenya. Plovdiv in Bulgaria. Ljubljana in Slovenia. All around the world. There was a cool one there. Let me pull this one bad boy up. Mario, cool, man. You're watching from Aleppo in Syria. Fantastic. Aleppo in Syria. On you go, sir. Thank you very much for tuning in all the way from Syria. I hope you're well, Mario. Michael, you're watching from Kanazawa in Japan. I've got 2 mates that are going to Japan in 12 days, I think. And I've spelled that wrong. I would absolutely love to go and spend a couple of weeks in Japan. There's so much of this world I still want to see. Really, really is. Let's get a couple more down here on the map. I love this part of the show every single week. We've got Ashwin watching from Vakau in Mauritius. Vakau? Did I say that right? Look at that. Phoenix Town in Mauritius. We'll get one more on. Why not? It is Friday after all. There's a super chat there. Let me read this out. Thank you so much, Ricardo. What are you saying? Please put Cali, Colombia on the map. I watched every video there for 3 months. 5 a.m. there. Mate, look at that. Awesome, dude. Cali. Again, Colombia. I was supposed to do a massive trip around South America. But then COVID happened and it ruined it all. I was supposed to start down there, fly into Colombia, go up through Central America, up the West Coast, then finish in Vancouver. And then COVID happened, which isn't very nice. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Cali, wicked. So today we've got Cali in Colombia. We've got Vacau in Mauritius, and we've got Kanazawa in Japan and Aleppo in Syria. Awesome. And we've got Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur's already on the map. But I can feel my voice going. Damn. I hope this goes soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I apologize if I've been ill this week. Hopefully next week I'll be back and bright. We play on Sunday. I'll have my match reaction. I'll have my predicted 11 going after this. Big up to the best community in the world. I love you all. Stay safe and have a cracking weekend.